I'm loving this music.
That would get
That's the music we need all the time.
Welcome to the 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Eric Chilton, and we have Ben Briscoe on the floor today.
It is so good for you to join us right here on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and of course the News 2 app.
I feel like we should be saying this to the beat because it's just too much of a beat. Yeah, we want you to take a moment, look at the bottom of your screen. There's a countdown there. It says we're just 4 days away from the biggest showdown in college basketball history.
Eric, do you feel the tension?
I'm so nervous already. I don't know what to do.
He's been biting his nails all afternoon.
Sleeping
I'm
at
so
night.
worried.
Duke and Carolina, one of the most notable rivalries in sports history, face off Saturday in the Final Four. It is going down in New Orleans, and WFMY News 2 is your #1 spot leading up to all the action.
Yeah, all right, so no matter what color you bleed, we have you covered. Our crews will be following Duke and UNC to the Final Four in New Orleans. We'll have all the highlights and March Madness for you, both on WFMY News 2, on air and online.
Take a closer look at Caesars Superdome in the Big Easy. Yeah, I think they're a little nervous there too, shaking around. Really, it's just the wind on the camera. But inside the arena, the stage is set for Saturday's showdown. New Orleans mayor says she's excited to see the games return to the city.
We're very excited. The city of New Orleans is once again hosting the NCAA Final Four, men's Final Four, something that we have not hosted in over 10 years. So we're excited about, one, hosting for the 6th time, but also the return in over a decade.
People around the country are traveling to NOLA ahead of the weekend's epic matchup. Right now, the Superdome is all decked out in NCAA glory. Decals on the side of the building. We've also got reading "The Road Ends Here," right there, painted on the side with Mardi Gras theme below it. And I want to show you some video of crews painting the outside of the Superdome. This time lapse was really fun to look at. But you know, once they get that floor down and everything's in place, it is ready for all the action. And we are too. Eric, are you actually still talking about trying to go?
So I tried, and I looked at what it costs right now is ridiculous. Like some of the airfare was anywhere from $1,800 to $3,500, and that's not even getting you in at a decent time. So because so many people from this area, this part of the country, are trying to go, it's really hard.
That's pricey, but we do have all the watch parties that are happening in our area, and you've been trying to book a hotel for that as well, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to Chapel Hill to watch it because the next best thing, and they go to Durham. So and keep in mind, you know, the university's what, 7-8 miles apart, so there's going to be a lot of people down there too. Hotels are already starting to book up in the Triangle.
And they're already starting to get extra police on hand too, I heard. It's going to be so rowdy.
It's going to be
there.
wild. It's going to be fun. I'm trying to be a part of all of it. Well, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Guilford County Schools will soon bring back bus services for all high schools. That means those high school students who had to use public transportation to get to class will now have yellow buses to ride. The district's chief operating officer says the routes are able to return because of hiring and offering some of those part-time drivers full-time positions.
We are one of the only school districts that are around $15 an hour in proximity to. We also have a $1,000 perfect attendance bonus that was also a new add at the beginning of this year that allowed for new people to take a look at us and really look to basically join our ranks.
Awesome update there. Services for the restored route start on Monday. Students can still ride city buses for free using their One Card. The state DMV reached a settlement in a years-long lawsuit. Now thousands of drivers could get their licenses back. 185,000 drivers had their licenses revoked because they didn't pay fines or court costs. Several groups sued the DMV in 2018, challenging a state law allowing drivers to keep their licenses even if they can't afford to pay. Now that the case is settled, the DMV will contact the impacted drivers. Tomorrow, we expect to have new COVID-19 case reports from state labs. You'll remember last week when officials announced they were moving from daily reporting to weekly reporting. Throughout the month, the spread of the virus has steadily declined. We will have tomorrow's report right here on your 4 to 5. Congratulations to this year's winners of this year's Chalk Walk. The event happens annually and showcases original chalk artwork in the city's botanical garden. You can see some of the pictures there. There were 6 different categories in winners. Some of the categories were youth, teen, and fan favorites. Those look really nice from what I can see there.
This
I mean, it
octopus
almost
is
comes
really
to life.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now they're up close. I can see the better. Yeah, I mean that's chalk as a medium to do art to me is really difficult. You know.
Take a look at that youth winner in the top, The Lion King. That is really, really good.
Oh, that
I'd like
is
to know how
good.
old that student was. That's beautiful.
Were you guys big chalk drawers when you were a kid?
I did have like the chalk, but we did a lot of like hopscotch and different things like that, or the bubble letters, writing out
Yes,
our
your
names.
names.
But I
Yep.
never really did a mural or anything.
I
like
wasn't
that.
big into that. My daughter is huge. She loves it. How about you?
I always thought it was so messy, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
It is messy.
You draw, and by the time you're done, you draw more on
Covered.
yourself
Yeah,
than the
come back looking
the
ashy.
cement.
But we did some chalk artwork in the parking lot a couple months ago with Tanya for her 2 Wants to
Absolutely.
Know
I've actually
segment.
got that picture on my Instagram page.
Yeah.
Watchdog Ben Briscoe. It's Tanya, Lauren, me, and a canvas.
Yeah, life-size cannon. So basically we drew a cannon on the ground, then we got a camera to do a bird's eye view,
Oh,
and it
okay.
looked like I was shooting Ben out of the cannon, and Tanya was going like
I
this
haven't
because it was
seen
too
this.
loud.
I wanna see
It's
it.
super
It was a
cute.
lot.
It was a
And
lot of work.
We spent way more time on it than we should have.
Yeah,
too.
I was like, this brings me back to the good old days of second grade chalk drawing.
Just got you out of work. That's what it did. for
It
a
did.
little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
we still had to get our work done.
I would
And
do that too.
At least if you have some good chalk art, it's probably not going to rain and wash it all away, Monique, right?
Not yet.
We got a break?
Nope, we're going to weather, see what's happening, I think.
I'm here. I got you covered when I talk about weather. No rain for today, no rain for tomorrow, at least for most of us. But all of us will be talking about rain as it comes to Thursday. This is a look at our Burlington sky cam. Those flags are waved at half mast. That's why we're not seeing them waving there. These winds out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour have helped to climb these temperatures for the afternoon up to 51 degrees in Burlington. Those clouds blanketing our skies. But although I haven't been in studio, I've been outside, and like you, I've been talking about how cold it's been. I mean, take a look at these temperatures through the weekend. In the 50s, it's feeling like wintry cold, especially heading out early in the morning. I was going out to the gym feeling like a good old December day. I mean, it was extremely cold to me this morning heading out the door, and even now it doesn't really feel like the month of March or like April is just around the corner, but it is. The temperatures now, everyone feeling those 50s. It took a long time for us to get here. I mean, most of the day we were all in the 40s. It was looking like we were going to stay there, but we were able to get over that hump of 50, and Greensboro 51 now, Winston-Salem at 52, High Point reaching up to 54. Even our friends in Boone seeing that 50. Siler City still at that 49. Now, as we look across the nation, right, take a look at the deep south. All of this warm air, warm and actually moist air. You really can't see it here, but the warm air is going to be making its way to our area slowly but surely as we end out the week. And we know in the springtime, when we have that warm, moist air, well, those are good ingredients for thunderstorms. And we're expecting some of those as we end out the week. I'll be talking more about it coming up.
You can't take camera away.
Hey, Facebook, are you pumped?
Where are
we-
you watching the game this week?
Can we get some of that music?
Chapel Hill.
More importantly, what food will you have to watch the game?
Ooh, now that's a question.
Oh, I love, like the little meatballs that they have
Yeah.
at like,
There's some music.
You say it over and over. That's what it is.
Okay,
is this
so
pump music?
we're ready for the basketball game. We were just talking about what we're gonna eat. Lauren's about the meatballs.
Yes, the little meatballs. I
Yeah,
could
I
eat
like
like
those.
10 or 20 of those
I
things.
love those.
I could eat like 30 or 40 of those.
Yeah.
Any dip? I like all
Pig in the
dips.
blanket, like the little mini ones.
Yes. I
It's
like
not
those.
a party unless you have those.
Those are great.
With mustard. I like those with mustard. That's my favorite.
I like the little party wings. Little,
Yeah.
You know,
Drumettes.
Drumettes.
Is that what they're called? Any dip. I like any cheese-based.
you have to have wings.
Any cheese-based anything. Yeah, you do have to have wings. To watch any sporting event.
You're not a wing fan?
Honestly, no.
Really?
I think
Wait,
it's-
let me guess. Too messy on the hands.
That is one thing.
I mean, if you
That-
want to
and it's
get
just like-
fancy with it, you
Okay,
could.
here's my problem with wings. It's a lot of work for a little bitty piece of food. Even
No,
boneless.
boneless is a
It's a little
chicken.
bitty piece of
Boneless
food.
is a chicken
Thank
nugget.
you.
That is not a
Boneless
wing.
is not a
Let's get
wing.
it straight.
That's exactly right. Our producer just said chicken nugget, never hurt anybody. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's not a wing. You talking about
honestly though, even chicken nuggets kind of get on my nerves because it's not enough food. I need a whole chicken strip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're the Chick-fil-A chicken strip person.
I just like to eat. I'll be honest.
Bye, Facebook.
By Facebook, we have to.
The story, perhaps the most talked about in the moment in Oscar history, continues to unfold, Right now, the Academy is launching a formal review into Will Smith's conduct. Sunday night, in the middle of the award show, Smith smacked Chris Rock after Rock made a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. The Academy condemns Smith's behavior and is exploring further action with California law.
Will Smith did publicly apologize to Chris Rock via Instagram. This happened on Monday evening. He says he was out of line and wrong. A lot of people are split when it comes to this slap debate. Some are showing solidarity. Others, like comedian Jim Carrey, aren't so forgiving.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. You do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
Will Smith attacked Chris Rock after he made a comment about his wife looking like G.I. Jane. While it's unclear if the comedian knew it at the time, Jada Pinkett Smith has disclosed 4 years ago that she has alopecia. It's the reason she has the shaved head or oftentimes wears a turban out in public. Alopecia is a disease that occurs when the body's immune system attacks hair follicles. Sometimes hair falls out in chunks, sometimes it grows back with repeated bouts of baldness. Dermatologist Dr. Alexis Young says it can be emotionally taxing for patients.
Alopecia, it's one of the most devastating diagnoses that I give to patients. I've had many tears shed in my office because of alopecia. I've had 26-year-old patients I've had lose all of their hair. Coming to terms with that it's just absolutely devastating.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for women, our hair is our crown. So especially if you get diagnosed with something like alopecia later in life, that is really hard to handle. I've done some stories with little girls that have alopecia, and it's even hard for them. They might feel like they don't fit in with other kids, but as a woman where you've had hair like your entire life and you start to lose that, that's very emotional.
I'll tell you, hair or no hair, she's beautiful.
Oh,
and she
gorgeous.
She carries this so well that to me it's not even a thing. She's so pretty.
She's stunning. I mean, her face is so beautiful, and I feel like her having, the low cut even emphasizes that even more.
I know it was hard enough for me as a guy to come to terms with losing my own hair. I can't imagine what it's like for a woman. And she has done it with such courage and bravery and almost like, you know what, it's not a big deal. I am still an award-winning actress. I have this great career. I've done these great things for not only humanity, but also charities. She really has made it not an issue, I think.
And I think to be honest, it's more of an exotic kind of eclectic look for her. I think
it's very regal.
I would not have even thought about that when I saw her and I wouldn't think about that low cut. It wouldn't bother me at all.
And I think that this situation is bringing light to alopecia. Some people might not be aware of what it even was. And it goes to show, if someone wants to make a joke with someone in the future, to kind of think twice about it, because they might be actually dealing with something that's out of their control.
And also that you kind of just have to take what people say with a grain of salt and not focus on their comments. Instead, you got to focus on how you feel about yourself. And I think that's what Coach Lamont is going to try to teach us today in U Day also.
My friend, you no longer have to be a mystery to yourself. We spend so much time trying to figure ourselves out that our wondering, it leaves us stagnant and we find ourselves doing absolutely nothing. There are so many who are going through the motions of life without experiencing life. We are not the living dead. Don't become a zombie, allowing life to sway you like a leaf in the wind. Bring control and clarity to your life, and control will become your greatest force. If there are things not understood about who you are, solve the mystery. Put on your detective hat and get on the case. Bring to justice the elements in this world that try to knock you off the game anyway. This is your time. This is your moment. So live like it. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, if any of you break out the detective hat, I do have a magnifying glass on my desk.
Perfect.
If you need it.
Inspector Gadget.
I love that whole thing about, focusing on yourself and not just going through the motions. One of the things that I've learned throughout my life is in order to not feel like you're going through the motions, you have to figure out what your purpose is. Whenever I feel like I have a purpose or something that I'm working towards, it gives me a focus and an energy and a motivation to get up and do something.
But often too, if someone says something that doesn't align with your person, if you're confident in who you are, it doesn't deter you. It doesn't stop you.
Amen, my sister.
We're in arm's reach. I'm in the room. It's nice to be in the room.
It does. It is nice to be able to touch each other again. I like that, Monique.
It's true.
Cool. It is true. And I think it's like you said, don't let other people define who you are. That's the bottom line. I mean, simple as that.
It took me a long time to learn that lesson, though. And it is one thing I wish I would have known in my early 20s, even in my teens. And we should teach children actively. That's why I am glad that we have these Coach Lamont videos. I hope that they get to see some of them.
I think it's an ever-evolving thing. I think regardless of whatever age you get to, you're always still going to maybe have moments where you may forget who you are. That's why it's important that you have a support system, you have people around you, integrate things into your life to constantly affirm yourself and remind yourself who you are.
And we're constantly learning about ourselves every day. I learn new things about myself, and we go through different seasons and how we react to things in life in different situations.
Make yourself uncomfortable. To make yourself uncomfortable, you learn more about yourself than you try to stay in that little soft spot your whole life. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all.
I love this. We can keep going all day.
We keep this going. It's 4:16. We got a long time to go. Take a break. We'll be right back.
It is not one of my favorite times of the year, but spring cleaning is a time when some people thoroughly tidy up their homes. Tackle those dust bunnies. Maybe you go through that cluttered garage. But what about spring cleaning your mind? Danielle Harper, a behavior health expert with Forsyth Medical Center, says spring is a good time to reset our minds. As the seasons change, it's an appropriate time. She suggests journaling and going on walks in nature.
Looking at the flowers, looking at the trees blooming, taking the time to just kind of breathing in the air that is around us while we're outside, gives us the opportunity to stay in the moment and not get so caught up with everything that's going on around us.
Harper also says a better sleep schedule and exercising can boost brain activity and help sift through a cluttered mind. Lauren, look at you
is
go.
doing her yoga poses. Yes, very nice.
I clean out my mind all the time. I like how she mentioned about the journaling. That is something that I do before I go to bed to just kind of think through all my thoughts that I have going on.
Lauren has so much zen. Like I'm not kidding. She knows how to settle down. And
So my process to clean my mind actually is something I do every single day right before we go on TV. I breathe in, I feel my feet on the floor, and feel the pressure, and just remember to be in the moment, be right here.
That is really
that's
important to
kinda cool.
do,
Yeah.
especially on television. I know when I joined this show, 4 to 5, it's so different from any
It
other
is.
newscast, and a lot of stuff happens on the spot. I had a lot of anxiety in the beginning, and someone was like, you need to meditate before you go out there just to be in the moment. So
That's
we'll have to meditate together one day.
Absolutely, anytime.
that's kind of why I get in. You know how early
Yeah,
I come
you get in
I get
pretty
into the
early.
studio about 25 minutes before a show, and I'm not really doing anything except just sitting and piddling on the computer. It just gives me to get in the environment, and just get settled. But I've been doing this so long.
Yeah,
it's
you can anchor in your sleep.
Walk right in. They said spring cleaning. I said for this mine, it's going to take more than the spring to clear all this out. Spring,
go deep in that attic.
That's right. Take me till about October to get it. All right, let's see what's going on with Monique. We're checking the forecast and some changes for us. Oh, I like Lauren's place.
This past weekend, it's been feeling like spring. When we talk about the allergies, I know for me, I was dying outside with those allergies so high, but a lot of times the showers that move through really allowed to wash out a lot of that pollen, and we're expecting that as we go through this week. So warming up late tomorrow with even some sprinkles possible. Not really so much seeing it today, but tomorrow things will change. On and off showers on Thursday, and then strong PM storms. So we're talking showers in the morning, maybe some storms in the morning, and then another round of it in the afternoon, kind of a two-part system. We'll get a little of a break in between. Strong winds will continue on your Friday, but it will be a mostly dry weekend as we look ahead. So overall, this weather for this week, we're all concentrating on Thursday, as the Storm Prediction Center even has us under, a portion of us at least, under a slight risk, which is a level 2 for severe weather. Some of our northeast counties, including here in Greensboro, and you can see elsewhere under a marginal risk. Now, just because you're not in the yellow, if you happen to be in Winston-Salem, does not mean you put your guard down. You still could see some strong storms across our area. So the futurecast painting the picture for us. So starting out tonight, we're going to continuously be dry, but mostly cloudy. We could see some few spotty showers for your Wednesday night. Going into early Thursday, we're going to already start to see some straggling light showers, but the first bit of heavy showers and storms moves early on in the day. And then as we go into the afternoon, we get some more of those heavy line of showers and storms. And then as we end out your Thursday, we're going to be much drier. Now, I talked about the winds as well. Those will be picking up throughout the day, starting late Wednesday night, going into your Thursday. You can see around, this is Wednesday, 9 p.m. We're seeing these winds around 20 to even 30 miles per hour, and they're going to continue to increase through your Thursday, upwards of nearly 40 miles per hour. Some models hinting at maybe even 45 miles per hour. So there's some very strong winds that will continue throughout the day on Thursday into the early part of Friday. Haven't shown the 7-day yet for the 4 p.m. hour, but here you have it. Overall, these temperatures are kind of around seasonable for the most part. Thursday is that warmer day, but overall, the main story here is Thursday is the day for more active weather with severe storms possible on Thursday.
It was the longest conflict in United States history, but on March 29th, 1973, we withdrew our troops from the South Vietnam. Since then, we try to honor all the soldiers on this National Vietnam Veterans Day. I asked you to post pictures of the veterans in your family. This first photo was sent in by Amy Griffin. She says this is her grandfather, E.J. Alderman, who served in the Navy during World War II. Nolan Hyman submitted this photo of his brother. He has a picture of him now and a picture of when he served in the military. James Davis submitted this next picture of his son holding his granddaughter. So cute. And then this next picture was posted on my Facebook page by Skip Ayers. He says this is his dad, Tryson Ayers, who served in World War II. And then this last picture is a picture of my father, Colonel Antonio S. Coleman. My dad served 30 years in the U.S. Army. He is pictured here with former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell.
What did he say Colin was like?
He has met him a couple of times, and that was someone that my dad looked up to, but he said he was really nice, very approachable. That picture was at South Carolina State in 2012 at their commencement ceremony. That's where my parents went to school, so.
Your dad, the decorator, I was like, goodness.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, we traveled the world a lot. You know, we moved like every 2 to 3 years when I was a kid. We settled down when I was in middle school, but my dad, he served his time.
So did he retire from the military?
He retired in 2014, so when I graduated from college, that's when he retired.
Wow, that's amazing. I have so much respect for people that were career military because it is a sacrifice and it's a lot of work, and as a family too, you're uprooting all the time and moving all around.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so thankful for every single one of them,
Absolutely.
especially now with what's going on in Ukraine, where you think about like people like you and me who are not trained, just out there shooting, throwing grenades. We're so lucky to have people who sign up to defend our country, who have that purpose and meaning within themselves.
And
they do it well.
Yes, they make the ultimate sacrifice.
They do. I mean, it is a sacrifice personally, but also from a family standpoint. It's just as big, if not bigger. So thank you for everything that you've done, that's for sure. Take a short break, and we're coming right back. Stay there.
Hello, mic check 1 2 3. Mic check. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
The music's
Stop
back.
dancing.
Yeah.
I love this. Good afternoon. Welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Eric Chilton alongside Lauren Coleman and Ben Briscoe.
Thanks for watching the 4 to 5 right here
And
on WFMY News 2.
Robinson.
Oh, Monique Robinson.
Monique,
We
hey
can't
back
forget our
there. I
girl,
didn't know you were
Monique.
here.
Jeez, Eric, you stood in front of her. You didn't
Welcome
introduce
to the
her.
party.
Where's my light at too? What's going on here?
I know, it's turning off. It's back on. You're good.
I'm
You're
here.
good. Thanks for watching us. No matter how you are watching
Yes.
us, we want you to check something out. There's a countdown at the bottom of your screen there. It's counting down an epic showdown in college basketball history.
I bet you Eric doesn't even need a countdown. You know by heart it is
Yep.
4 days away until the matchup. Duke versus Carolina in NCAA's Final Four.
And it's going down Saturday in New Orleans, Louisiana, and WFMY News 2, your spot leading up to the face-off. Let's send it over to WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson, who's been following NC hoops across the country. Welcome back, Amanda.
Hey guys, it's an absolutely wild time in college basketball. Two of the most storied basketball programs in the country meeting up in the Final Four, North Carolina and Duke. What's crazier, it's never happened before. Both head coaches tell us their thoughts on the matchup.
I haven't looked at it as us against Carolina. I've looked at us, we're playing in the Final Four. So the history of that, I've not paid any attention to.
Guys, I can't believe the last time that we both been in the Final Four was when I was 20 years old in 1991. And so I am surprised that it hasn't happened before. And I think it's very funny that the last 2 times that we've been in the Final Four, I've been at the Final Four. As celebrated and as successful as both programs have been, for us to not have met in the Final Four is very rare and surprising.
We're chatting over here.
I just still can't believe this has never happened
I know.
ever.
This is so cool.
That time when Hubert Davis was a junior, that's the last time that they could have met.
Could have, but
Wow.
they didn't win that game.
Yeah, and we lost to Kansas, and I think Duke went on to win the national championship.
They
that year.
did
So
that
this
year.
is like full circle for him then.
Oh yeah, as a player and as a coach to be in the Final Four with Duke again.
Guys, the storylines here are just, I still cannot get over it. It's Coach K's last year, and then it's Hubert Davis's first year as the head coach, and they're meeting up in the Final Four. It's
insane.
a historic moment for them, for us, everybody.
You know what I love about it though? That both of these coaches said actually in the news conference, stop talking about us.
Yeah.
It's about the players.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
And they're right, but it is such a storybook moment, and I love that they still had that gratitude to say, this is not about us, this is about the team.
Yeah, and both of those coaches know that they have to. I love this one quote I heard. Actually, both of them have used this line, but turn off the noise. Said you have to turn off the noise and focus on the plays and the game and not get all that outside stuff, but good luck with that because it's all
Right.
over the media.
I mean, because call it what it is. This is a huge rivalry game, no matter which way you look at it. But again, it is all about a basketball game. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. And they really have to be in touch this week with making sure to leave that noise out.
I just love all the excitement because, you know, I just moved back to North Carolina, and like I said, basketball I knew was huge, but just to see everybody so happy and excited, and y'all are having sidebar conversations about the game, it's just really amazing.
It's a blast.
There is some,
I was just going to say the hype around this is real, right? And the energy in North Carolina, no matter which color blue you are. I heard a line today, somebody that Tanya was interviewing, and he said, to be geographically that close and to only be a few shades off on the color wheel, he said this is a really big deal.
you know, I just love that this is North Carolina's thing. Because a decade ago when I was living elsewhere, I liked NBA. I didn't really like college that much. And as soon as you get here, there's something about these two teams that just draw you into the sport.
It's true.
It's magical.
It's exciting. And as UNC and Duke gear up for the Final Four matchup, there is a North Carolina woodworker getting in on all the action. Brandon Wynn owns Bees Woodworks. It's based in Williamston. It's a woodworking company he runs online. He makes everything from wooden flags to signs to law enforcement badges. His most recent project are these UNC and Duke plaques. Wynn expects to get more orders like these ahead of this weekend's epic matchup.
I would think so, because, you know, my side of the family are UNC fans, and my wife's side of the family are Duke fans. So when I got the request to make these, it hit right at home.
His first order went to a customer right outside of Greensboro. Wynn says the Duke and UNC plaques are about 20 inches tall and take between 2 to 6 hours to make, depending on their design requested.
I like it. I'm not the biggest basketball fan. You know, I don't go crazy about it, but I do like watching when UNC and Duke go at it. It's just fun.
Wynn added that he's happy to be a part of the Final Four excitement.
Imagine if he was able to get part of the floor from the game and make those out of the floor.
That's a great idea.
I think people would be bidding big money
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
that could bring in.
So Brandon,
huge
that's a
dollars.
good idea if you can work that out.
Do that for like cancer research or something and raise money. Yeah. What a great idea. Ben, get
Look
that
at
out
you
there.
with all the ideas.
I mean, the woodworking is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaks for itself.
It really is.
Really cool.
It's so neat. All right, so on Facebook today, I asked you to kind of describe this rivalry in one word, but you can't use the word hate because I thought that'd be too strong.
Whoa.
Yeah, here we go. Kathy Wilson Harris, she said she couldn't settle on one, so she said loathe and detest. Brenda said historical, and that is true. Dillard Moss couldn't narrow it down either. Intense, insane, incendiary. Brian said unparalleled. It's true. Pat says emotional, and that is a given. And Jeremy Ferguson said greatest. And Marie McBride, in one word, iconic. I think all of those words apply, and it is strong. There were some people that one of them wrote, because I had 380 comments on that in a matter of like, I think 2-3 hours. And somebody wrote in there is no way that I could do this in one word. And then they went through a paragraph of why she loves her team. Yeah, a lot of people on either side, both sides.
I would say GOAT.
It is.
Greatest of all time.
The greatest game of all time.
Yeah,
Is this
greatest
the GG,
game of all
the
time.
GOAT?
Yeah.
So you were telling me you're worried that this is going to be the game the rivalry is settled on the rest of the time.
So I don't think it'll be the game forever and ever. Obviously, every game is going to be huge, but I do think that there are bragging rights with this one that are different, right? So the Carolina's going to hold on to the last game in Cameron. That is a big, huge deal for the rivalry. This game on the bigger stage matters, but for Duke, there's so much pressure on those kids to not have their coach go out against Carolina in the NCAA. That would be so hard for them, and it's for him to go out into retirement. And then I think there's more on the line for Duke than there is for Carolina. Carolina wasn't expected to be there, right? And so it's kind of a thing. Hubert Davis, first coach. There's only 9 coaches to make it to the Final Four as a first year, as a first year coach. So there's a lot on the line, but I think it's a lot of pressure on both sets of kids. I mean, they're kids.
Do we know how many first-year coaches have won the whole thing?
Never has a first-year coach.
So it could be record-breaking.
Yes, it could be. I know only 9. I'm not sure if that includes Hubert Davis or not, but I know there have only been 9 coaches, first-year coaches, to make it.
The thing about him, though, he's not really a first-year coach. He's been there right along.
First-year head coach of a D1 school. Yeah, he coached JV at Carolina for years before he did this, and he was assistant coach as well.
And him and Roy Williams were really good friends, and he learned so much from him. It just makes sense.
Roy pushed to get him up there. And Roy did the same thing. He would coach JV back when he was sitting on the bench with Dean as an assistant. So interesting.
I'm excited to see these outcomes and these stories to follow.
I mean, epic. She's right.
Right now, we do need to get to your 4 to 5 roundup because despite the fact we all want to talk about the game, there is some other news we need to get to. Guilford County Schools is bringing back bus services for all high schools. That means those high school students who had to use public transportation to get to class, they now get to ride on that yellow bus again. The district says it hired 16 new drivers in the past few weeks and is 54 drivers away from having a full staff. Services for the restored routes start on Monday. Students can still ride city buses for free using their one card. GCS is also upgrading its on-campus law enforcement radio systems. Over the weekend, the school board approved a request allocating $4.4 million for the new tech. Better radio systems allow school officials to effectively communicate with law enforcement and first responders during emergency situations. The last time the school board spent money on this was back in 2018. Tonight, Magic Johnson will be right here in the Triad. The NBA legend and business mogul is a guest speaker for North Carolina's A&T's Building Black Businesses series. The event is free and open to the public. It starts at 6 p.m. in Brown Hall. For ticketing information, you just got to visit the college's website. Voters head to the polls in under 2 months, and the Greensboro mayor race is one of the key focuses. You have a chance to hear from the candidates this weekend. We are partnering with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority and UNCG to host a debate this Sunday at 4 p.m. I'm going to moderate it. You can watch it on our Facebook, YouTube, and Roku pages. If you want to be there in person, it is free, and we've got all the details on our website.
Well, from athletes we've been talking about to mathletes. We hear about women in science all the time. In fact, our Monique Robinson features STEM stars every week in her Mo on the Go segments. And Salem Academy, though, in Winston-Salem, they're getting attention from a big name due to their robotics club. What started as a hobby club, this was 8 years ago, has developed into an award-winning all-woman robotics team. The group does so well that they're getting a visit from Chelsea Clinton, who is recognizing women in science through her children's book called She Persisted in Science. And to say they are excited about this, that is an understatement.
Our girls here are very excited about this. We're going to have Ms. Clinton here on campus to talk specifically with a small group of our students and then to do her formal presentation. And our robotics team jumped at it because this is what they want to do, is they want to be leaders and models to our future generations.
The students say they recognize the importance of, as they like to say, shattering stereotypes, and many hope to be breaking barriers in a few years when they graduate from high school and then eventually college.
In my experience, I've found that adding more voices to the STEM field is nothing but something to be encouraged. I have 2 little sisters and I go to an all-girls school, and I've had a very female-dominated life. And so knowing that women have the option to do whatever they want just the same as the men in my life, it warms my heart.
Okay, were these kids even alive when Chelsea Clinton was the first child?
No,
Probably not.
I love, though, that they're still excited.
Because they're high school age.
And
so.
I love that they're getting this recognition. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's when I saw what they were doing and the level of science that they're, the engineering basically is what they're doing. It's pretty impressive, and they've already won awards regionally.
Wow.
Not sure if it's national, but I know regionally they've won awards already.
That exposure is so important, especially at ages like this, because I feel like if I knew more about these kind of fields in STEM when I was that age, who knows where I'd be now.
Like, I'm confused just looking at the calculations on this board.
Yeah,
here.
that's what
I'm impressed with them.
I don't get it. I saw a lot of math and things. When you put letters in math, that's when you lose me. I'm gone when you put letters in there. Yeah, good work they're doing there. All right, let's check in with our own STEM research person here, Mo on the Go, but we're doing forecast.
Math is fun when you bring letters and numbers all together. We get funky stuff like this, weather. So when we talk about the next couple of days, we're going to be seeing warmer temperatures, as you can see, but also greater rain chances, especially as we get towards your Thursday. That severe weather threat does increase, and the winds will be picking up late Wednesday night, continuing all through the day on Thursday, and even continuing through your Friday. Here's a look at what weather you can expect over the next 3 days across the Triad.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. You know, when you get a close-up look at something like these beautiful tulips from Dewberry Farms from last year, it is just gorgeous. But when you can see them from here and you can fly over them with a drone and capture the bird's eye view, to me, that is what is spectacular. Now, there is something about drone video, isn't there?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like back in the days you had to pay thousands to get that.
It makes you feel like you're watching a movie, like you're just up close
That's
and
right.
personal.
Oh yeah, I would definitely think that.
I do wonder if we're going to get tired of it eventually, though. I kind of feel like it's just so cool because it's new. We haven't had drones that long, and so anytime we see it, I'm like, ooh, that's different.
Right. Well, it definitely gives you a different perspective. Of course, drones have all kinds of different purposes, right? That was the beauty of the drone. Just recently, though, we did a story about how the North Carolina Department of Transportation is testing out a drone system of their own. And their main use, they say, is if there's a backup somewhere due to a crash, officials can get a better idea of conditions for drivers. So we'll see how that works. Drones, like I said, can be used for all kinds of things. When I say the word drone, what do you think of it being used for most?
Recreation. I mean, I know that it's used for a lot of official things, but I know a lot of people like to use them for fun in their spare time.
Yeah, I'd say hobby. You know, like it's almost a hobby thing now. I know a lot of professional videographers use them, but I think of the fun stuff that kids and young adults are doing with it.
And I think about law enforcement, like the hunt for missing kids in the forest when they put the drone up, or when they're fighting fires and they need to look, like at Weaver, the fertilizer plant.
Oh yeah, right.
Those drones are really helpful, yeah.
Yeah, without the drones, we wouldn't have seen what we saw.
right.
And plus, like Amazon and other companies, you know, delivering things with drones and all that kind of jazz. Well, drones could change how we do July the 4th. Let me show you. You can hear the oohs and the ahs, just like fireworks, right? The drone show in Key West, Florida was for the 200th anniversary of being claimed as a U.S. territory. The drones all orchestrated to make all these great displays, like a sailboat and the sun that you see here. Sea creatures, I love the dolphin and its moving tail. And of course, there's a turtle coming up as well, and you can see it moving its fins and things like that.
Wow.
I mean, it just is a really cool sky show. So what do you think? Is that a replacement for fireworks?
Absolutely.
I
I
could
feel
see
like
that.
that takes a lot of work, and you can show more images than you could with fireworks.
By the way, they're also three-dimensional images because sometimes
Yeah.
they arrange them like the whole thing and then it rotates. It's really cool.
I'm just so amazed that people have the skills to figure out mathematically how to make these all fly like
Right.
this.
Oh, I know, I know.
Once again, STEM, right? We come back to that for sure. Now, it won't help if it's windy or rainy.
It's true.
But there's no more big bangs and booms, right? to
Yeah, dogs
scare
will
ya.
like it.
Dogs will like it.
You can mix
All
it together.
We'll be right back.
Alrighty then, so most of us have seen clouds for the start of the day and felt very chilly air. This is a look at our satellite radar, kind of painting the picture as to what things are like in the sky. And that's what we're seeing, these clouds that are continuing to push off towards the south and east direction as we continue through the latter part of your Tuesday. Now, when I widen out the view, looking at the entire nation, you can see how these showers sort of wrap around in this counterclockwise direction all across the southern plains here. This here is an area of low pressure, and then elsewhere there's some other features you can't really see on the satellite and radar. But I'm going to flip on over to the water vapor. This is showing you where there's moisture and where there's dry conditions. So the moisture, the gray conditions you're seeing here, white and even blue. The very dry air is right back here, extending here through portions of Colorado, Oklahoma, and even further south of Texas. This dry air is what we call a dry line. Then we have the area of low pressure and the warm front. All of this is going to be moving across the deep south, anywhere behind the warm front, in the pocket for warm, moist air, and in the pocket for storm potential. And that's what we're going to be keeping a close eye on as it continues to track across the southeast. Here's another picture of a graphic showing you that warm front as it's going to lift across the area late Wednesday night, and that cold front trailing behind that dry land, transitioning into a cold front. Here's a look at the full 7-day through next week. You can see that rain chance starting Wednesday afternoon, continuing through Thursday, and drying out by Friday.
One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hi, Illinois, Indiana also. I just said also because I wrote also.
Hi, mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3. North Carolina.
Wake up. It's a twister. It's a twist.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check 1, 2.
Great clip, man.
Thanks. Guilford County Schools officials say it's a mix of COVID-19 cases declining and their ability to hire more bus drivers.
It's time for my 2 cents. North Carolina is known for many things: the beautiful beaches, the outstanding mountains, and of course, basketball. Before moving to North Carolina, I knew basketball was a big deal, but I didn't understand the scope until I got here. People go hard for their teams. And now that Duke and UNC have made it into the Final Four, fans are going wild. I'm amazed about how much they know about the sport. I mean, it's almost like a religion. Several coworkers here at News 2 know all about the stats. I'm talking down to the number of assists and three-pointers certain players made more than 10 years ago. Some of their desks may even be mistaken for a miniature bookstore, decked out in UNC pom-poms, flags, and signs. Since the start of the NCAA tournament, our marketing director has come into the office every day wearing her Carolina blue. She even has the blue nail polish to match. My co-anchor Eric Chilton tells me when he was in grade school, his teachers would roll in a TV into the classroom for students to watch tournament basketball for the second half of a school day. I love seeing the passion and pride fans have for our teams here in North Carolina. I'm excited for the big showdown this weekend and the joy it will bring. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
You can't go into the Final Four just thinking rivalry, payback, or any of those things.
I can't wait for them